Stop drinking plain water, at least not the way you have been drinking it your entire life. You followed the advice, 8 glasses a day, year after year, faithfully. You added the creams, you tried the collagen capsules. You were consistent and careful, and yet the lines kept deepening, the skin on your neck kept thinning, the firmness around your facial contour never came back no matter what you changed. That is not your failure, that is incomplete information. And the truth is that you have only been given half the story. Here is what nobody tells you. After 60, plain water is one of the least efficient ways to maintain collagen density, skin firmness, and cellular hydration. Your body's ability to deliver that water to the cells that actually need it most, your collagen fibers, your connective tissue, the deeper layers of your skin, has fundamentally changed. And drinking more of the same thing that is not working is not going to change that. But 5 specific additions to your daily water will restore that process to something closer to what it was decades ago. The scientific foundation for this is solid, and the last item on this list, the one I am saving for the end, produced results in a clinical study that genuinely stopped me when I first read the data. I am Dr. William Lowe, and if you are over 60, this may be the most important conversation you have this year about your skin, your structure, and the deep biology of aging. Let me begin with what is actually happening inside the skin after 60, because this biology is the reason that plain water alone is insufficient, and the reason that each of the 5 additions I am about to describe produces results that water alone never will. Your skin is composed of 3 layers: the epidermis, which is the outermost layer you can see; the dermis, the deeper structural layer that contains the collagen and elastin fibers that give skin its firmness and elasticity; and the hypodermis, the subcutaneous fat layer that provides volume and support to the structures above it. The visible signs of skin aging, the deepening lines, the sagging along the jawline and neck, the loss of the tight contour that defined your face in your 40s, are not primarily changes in the epidermis, they are changes in the dermis, and more specifically, they are changes in the collagen network of the dermis. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body. In the skin specifically, it provides the structural scaffolding that holds the dermis together and gives it mechanical strength. It is organized into fibers and fiber bundles that run in multiple directions, creating a 3-dimensional mesh that resists deformation and supports the overlying epidermis. This collagen mesh is not static. It is continuously being produced by cells called fibroblasts and continuously being degraded by enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases, or MMPs. In a young skin, production exceeds degradation, the collagen density is high, and the skin maintains its firmness. After the age of 25, the balance shifts, with production declining approximately 1 to 1.5% per year. By the time a person reaches 60, they have lost between 30 and 50% of the dermal collagen they had at their peak. But it is not only the quantity of collagen that changes, the quality changes too. The collagen fibers that remain become increasingly cross-linked through a process called glycation, where glucose molecules bind to the collagen proteins and form abnormal crosslinks that make the fibers stiffer, more brittle, and more resistant to the normal remodeling that maintains skin elasticity. The fibroblasts that produce collagen become less active and less responsive to the signals that normally stimulate collagen synthesis. The hyaluronic acid that fills the spaces between collagen fibers and holds water within the dermal matrix declines by approximately 50% between the ages of 40 and 60, and the blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to the fibroblasts reduce in density, further impairing the metabolic capacity of the collagen-producing cells. This is the biological reality that no topical cream can fully address, because creams work at the surface of the epidermis, and the collagen crisis is occurring in the dermis, several millimeters deeper. This is also the reason that oral hydration strategy matters so profoundly for skin aging. The fibroblasts of the dermis depend on adequate hydration delivered through the circulatory system, not through topical application, and the compounds that stimulate their collagen production activity must arrive at the cells through the bloodstream. Now here is the critical distinction that makes this entire conversation about what you add to your water rather than simply how much you drink. The fibroblast, when it receives adequate raw materials and adequate signaling molecules through the bloodstream, is capable of synthesizing collagen at any age. The fibroblast does not stop working at 60. It becomes less efficient, less well supplied, and less stimulated. Give it what it needs, and it responds. Multiple clinical trials have demonstrated measurable increases in dermal collagen density in adults in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s in response to the right nutritional interventions. The machinery is not broken, it is underserved. Let me take you through the 5 additions in order of importance, explaining the mechanism of each one precisely, because I want you to understand not just what to add to your water, but what it actually does inside the cells of your dermis. The first and most foundational addition is hydrolyzed collagen peptides. I have discussed collagen peptides in multiple contexts on this channel, but their specific mechanism for dermal collagen synthesis deserves a focused explanation because it is more sophisticated than simply providing amino acids. When you consume hydrolyzed collagen, which is collagen protein broken down into small peptide chains of 2 to 5 amino acids through enzymatic hydrolysis, these peptides are absorbed through the intestinal wall and enter the portal circulation. What happens next is what makes this intervention so elegant. These specific peptide sequences, particularly the dipeptides hydroxyproline glycine and proline hydroxyproline, are detected by fibroblasts as signals that collagen in the body is being broken down somewhere and that new synthesis is urgently needed. The fibroblasts respond by upregulating their collagen production machinery. This is not simply a matter of providing the amino acid building blocks of collagen, though that is also occurring. It is a signaling mechanism where the peptides themselves act as molecular messengers that activate the collagen synthesis response in fibroblasts. A randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial published in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology followed women between 35 and 65 who consumed 10 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides daily for 12 weeks. Compared to the placebo group, the collagen-supplemented group showed a 65% improvement in skin elasticity, a 20% reduction in eye wrinkle depth measured by optical profilometry, and significantly elevated levels of procollagen type I in skin biopsies, which is direct tissue-level evidence of increased collagen synthesis in the dermis itself, and the bioavailability data is compelling. Studies using radio-labeled collagen peptides have demonstrated that after oral consumption, specific peptide fragments accumulate in skin tissue for up to 14 days, confirming that these molecules reach the dermis through the circulation and maintain their signaling activity over extended periods. The body prioritizes delivery of these peptides to collagen-rich tissues, with skin being one of the primary destinations. 10 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides dissolved in your morning water, tasteless and completely soluble, is the dose that the research consistently associates with measurable dermal outcomes. The second addition is vitamin C, and I want to be very precise about both the form and the dose because not all vitamin C supplements deliver the same effect on collagen synthesis. Vitamin C is the essential enzymatic cofactor for two of the most critical steps in collagen biosynthesis: the hydroxylation of proline to form hydroxyproline and the hydroxylation of lysine to form hydroxylysine, both of which are essential for the triple helix structure that gives collagen its mechanical strength. These hydroxylation reactions are catalyzed by the enzymes prolyl hydroxylase and lysyl hydroxylase, and both of these enzymes absolutely require vitamin C as a cofactor. Without adequate vitamin C, these hydroxylation reactions are impaired, the collagen that is produced is structurally deficient, and the triple helix cannot form properly. This is the mechanism of scurvy, which at its most fundamental level is a collagen structural failure disease caused entirely by vitamin C deficiency. In the context of aging skin after 60, there are two compounding problems. Vitamin C intake from dietary sources tends to decline with age as dietary patterns shift, and the oxidative stress that accumulates with aging depletes vitamin C more rapidly as it is consumed, neutralizing reactive oxygen species throughout the body. The result is a chronic subclinical vitamin C insufficiency that directly impairs collagen synthesis in the dermis, even in people who believe they are getting adequate dietary vitamin C. But there is a third mechanism that is specifically relevant to skin aging, and that goes beyond collagen synthesis. Vitamin C is one of the most potent inhibitors of tyrosinase, the enzyme that catalyzes the production of melanin in melanocytes. By inhibiting tyrosinase activity, vitamin C reduces the excessive melanin production that creates uneven skin tone, age spots, and hyperpigmentation, and it directly regenerates vitamin E in the cell membranes of dermal cells, creating a synergistic antioxidant system that protects the collagen fibers from the oxidative damage that would otherwise degrade them. The form of vitamin C I recommend for this protocol is sodium ascorbate, the buffered, non-acidic form that is gentler on the stomach and has a slightly more sustained absorption profile than standard ascorbic acid, or, if optimal bioavailability is the priority, liposomal vitamin C, which achieves plasma concentrations significantly higher than standard oral forms at equivalent doses because the lipid encapsulation protects the vitamin C from degradation in the gastrointestinal tract and facilitates cellular uptake. 500 milligrams of sodium ascorbate dissolved in your morning water, alongside the collagen peptides, creates the conditions for maximally efficient collagen synthesis because the enzymatic cofactor and the structural raw materials arrive at the fibroblasts simultaneously. The third addition is silica, specifically in the form of orthosilicic acid or bamboo extract standardized for silica content. Silica is one of the most underappreciated minerals in skin aging biology, and its direct role in collagen synthesis is less known than vitamin C's, but equally fundamental. Silicon, the element that bioavailable silica provides, is a direct cofactor for the same prolyl hydroxylase enzyme that vitamin C supports, and it also functions as a structural component of the glycosaminoglycan matrix in which the collagen fibers of the dermis are embedded. This glycosaminoglycan matrix, which includes hyaluronic acid, chondroitin sulfate, and dermatan sulfate, provides the hydrated gel environment that maintains dermal volume and turgor. Research published in the Archives of Dermatological Research found that orthosilicic acid supplementation produced significant improvements in skin surface and skin mechanical properties in women with photodamaged facial skin after 20 weeks of use compared to placebo. And a study from Maastricht University demonstrated that orthosilicic acid directly stimulated collagen type I synthesis in fibroblast cell cultures through the same prolyl hydroxylase mechanism I described, confirming that the effect on collagen production is direct and not mediated by any secondary pathway. Silica levels in the body decline with age through reduced dietary intake, reduced absorption efficiency, and increased renal excretion. This age-related silica depletion is one of the contributing factors to the progressive decline in dermal thickness and collagen density that characterizes aging skin, and it is one that most practitioners never address because silica supplementation is not part of standard medical education. Bamboo extract, which is one of the richest natural sources of bioavailable silica available, dissolves readily in water and can be added to the morning water preparation alongside the collagen peptides and vitamin C. The dose associated with measurable effects in clinical studies is typically 10 to 20 milligrams of elemental silicon, which corresponds to the serving size specified on standardized bamboo extract products. The fourth addition is hyaluronic acid, specifically low molecular weight hyaluronic acid in the form designed for oral bioavailability. Hyaluronic acid is the primary glycosaminoglycan responsible for the water-binding capacity of the dermis. A single molecule of hyaluronic acid can bind up to 1,000 times its own weight in water, and it is this extraordinary hydrophilicity that maintains the plump, firm, hydrated quality of young skin. Hyaluronic acid levels in the skin decline by approximately 50% between the ages of 40 and 60, and this decline is a primary driver of the loss of facial volume and the increase in surface roughness and fine lines that occur during this period. For years, the conventional wisdom was that oral hyaluronic acid would be broken down in the digestive tract and would not reach skin tissue in a meaningful form. But more recent research has substantially challenged this assumption. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition demonstrated that low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, specifically molecules below 5 kilodaltons, was absorbed intact from the gastrointestinal tract and could be detected in the bloodstream and subsequently in skin tissue. And a randomized controlled trial published in a Japanese dermatology journal found that 120 milligrams of oral hyaluronic acid daily for 12 weeks produced significant improvements in skin moisture, elasticity, and the appearance of wrinkles measured by objective photographic analysis compared to placebo. The mechanism appears to involve not only direct incorporation of the absorbed hyaluronic acid into the dermal matrix, but also stimulation of endogenous hyaluronic acid synthesis by fibroblasts. The absorbed hyaluronic acid fragments appear to signal the fibroblasts to upregulate their own hyaluronic acid production, similar to the signaling mechanism I described for collagen peptides. 120 milligrams of low molecular weight oral hyaluronic acid added to the morning water preparation completes the structural hydration component of this protocol. And now we arrive at the fifth and final addition, the one I promised at the beginning of this video that produced results in a clinical study that stopped me in my tracks. This is the addition that transforms the protocol from a collagen synthesis intervention into a comprehensive dermal regeneration strategy because it addresses the biological root of why collagen synthesis is declining in the first place, rather than simply providing more substrate for the existing compromised system. The fifth addition is astaxanthin, and let me tell you exactly what happened in the study that so impressed me. A double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial published in the journal Nutrients enrolled 65 middle-aged and older adults with clinically evident skin aging. They were randomized to receive either 12 milligrams of astaxanthin daily or placebo for 16 weeks. The outcome measures included skin wrinkle depth measured by standardized photography and silicone replica analysis, skin elasticity measured by photometry, skin moisture measured by corneometry, and crucially, skin fibroblast activity assessed by procollagen levels in skin biopsies. The astaxanthin group showed a 36% reduction in cheek wrinkle depth, a significant improvement in skin elasticity in both the face and the hands, significant improvements in skin moisture retention, and a measurable increase in procollagen type Y in the skin biopsies, confirming that astaxanthin was stimulating new collagen synthesis at the tissue level. The placebo group showed no significant change in any of these measures. A 36% reduction in wrinkle depth from a dietary supplement in 16 weeks. That is the number that stopped me. The mechanisms by which astaxanthin produces these results are multiple and synergistic with the other additions in this protocol. First, astaxanthin is the most potent antioxidant naturally occurring in any dietary source. Its oxygen radical absorbance capacity is approximately 550 times greater than vitamin E and 6,000 times greater than vitamin C on a gram-per-gram basis. This extraordinary antioxidant potency is specifically relevant to skin collagen because oxidative stress is one of the primary drivers of MMP activation, the enzymes that degrade existing collagen. Every day, ultraviolet radiation, environmental pollutants, and the reactive oxygen species generated by normal metabolism activate MMPs in the dermis that break down collagen fibers. Astaxanthin quenches the reactive oxygen species that trigger this MMP activation, reducing the rate of collagen degradation and allowing the net balance of production over degradation to improve. Second, astaxanthin is a potent inhibitor of NF-κB, the master inflammatory transcription factor that drives the production of inflammatory cytokines in the skin. These inflammatory cytokines, particularly TNF-alpha and interleukin-1 beta, directly stimulate MMP activity and directly suppress fibroblast collagen synthesis. By inhibiting NF-κB, astaxanthin reduces both the collagen-degrading enzyme activity and the fibroblast suppression that chronic skin inflammation produces. It removes two of the primary brakes on collagen production simultaneously. Third, astaxanthin has been shown in research published in the journal Molecular Nutrition and Food Research to directly stimulate the differentiation and activity of skin fibroblasts through the activation of the TGF-beta signaling pathway, which is the primary growth factor pathway that drives fibroblast collagen synthesis. This direct fibroblast stimulating effect is the mechanism behind the elevated procollagen levels seen in the skin biopsies of the clinical study I described, and it is the mechanism that makes astaxanthin categorically different from a simple antioxidant supplement. It is not just protecting existing collagen, it is driving the cells to produce new collagen. Fourth, astaxanthin has unique structural properties as an antioxidant that are especially relevant for skin biology. Unlike most antioxidants, which are either water-soluble and work in the aqueous phase of the cell or fat-soluble and work in the lipid membranes, astaxanthin spans the entire width of the lipid bilayer membrane. Its polar end groups extend to both the inner and outer surface of the membrane, while its central structure sits in the hydrophobic core. This unique membrane-spanning orientation allows astaxanthin to protect the entire lipid membrane from oxidative damage simultaneously, both its surfaces and its interior, providing a level of membrane protection that no other antioxidant can match. The cell membranes of dermal fibroblasts are rich in polyunsaturated fatty acids that are highly susceptible to lipid peroxidation. Astaxanthin's membrane-spanning antioxidant activity protects the integrity of these membranes, maintaining the metabolic efficiency of the fibroblasts that produce collagen. I want to address the timeline of realistic expectations because consistency over an appropriate duration is what produces the results the research documents. Most people begin to notice improvements in skin hydration and surface texture within 2 to 4 weeks because hyaluronic acid and improved cellular hydration produce relatively rapid visible effects. Improvements in skin firmness and elasticity, which require actual new collagen to be synthesized and incorporated into the dermal matrix, typically become visible at 8 to 12 weeks of consistent daily use. The deeper improvements in wrinkle depth and facial contour, like those measured in the astaxanthin study, develop over 16 to 24 weeks. These are not overnight transformations. They are the gradual restoration of a biological system that has been in decline for years. The direction of change reverses when the system is given what it needs, but reversal takes time commensurate with the length of the decline. There are also several things to avoid or minimize that directly counteract the effects of this protocol. And I want to address them because I believe that knowing what not to do is as important as knowing what to do. The glycation of collagen by dietary sugars, which I described as a primary mechanism of collagen quality decline, is directly driven by repeated blood glucose spikes from refined carbohydrates and added sugars. Every major glucose spike in the bloodstream contributes to the cross-linking of collagen fibers that makes them stiff and dysfunctional. The most powerful dietary complement to this morning protocol is a consistent reduction in refined sugars, white flour products, and high glycemic foods throughout the day. Ultraviolet radiation is the primary environmental driver of MMP activation and collagen degradation in facial skin. Consistent use of broad-spectrum SPF 30 protection every morning, even on cloudy days, protects the collagen that this protocol is working to rebuild. Smoking is a direct and profound collagen synthesis inhibitor through multiple mechanisms, and no nutritional protocol can meaningfully rebuild collagen in the presence of active smoking. And chronic sleep deprivation reduces growth hormone production, which is one of the primary stimulators of fibroblast collagen synthesis, meaning the protocol works most powerfully in the context of adequate quality sleep. I want to close with something that I believe is important about how we think about aging skin in our culture. The beauty industry has spent billions promoting the idea that the solution to aging skin is topical, that the right cream applied in the right way will restore what time has taken. And while some topical interventions have genuine scientific support, particularly retinoids and high-concentration vitamin C serums, the fundamental limitation of the topical approach is that it works at the epidermis when the real action is happening in the dermis. The fibroblasts that produce collagen are not accessible to creams. They are accessible to what arrives through the bloodstream. They respond to the nutritional environment that the circulation creates in the dermal tissue. This protocol creates the nutritional environment that those fibroblasts need to do what they are still fully capable of doing at 60, at 70, and at 80 if given the right conditions. Your skin did not forget how to make collagen. It simply stopped receiving what it needs to make it efficiently. Give it what it needs consistently through the one system that can actually reach the cells responsible for rebuilding it. I am Dr. William Lowe. If this video gave you something valuable today, please share it with someone in your life who is over 60 and who has been frustrated by seeing the lines deepen despite everything they have tried. Subscribe to this channel for more evidence-based content on the biology of aging and what you can actually do about it. And leave me a comment below. I want to know which of these 5 additions you are going to start with and how long your skin concerns have been something you have been actively trying to address. Your dermis is still capable of rebuilding. Give it the tools to do so.